Of note, it was brought up by Leon after the game that Drew Fielder really showed great honor and nobility and great being a great teammate by voluntarily giving up his starting role in that game to allow Don Perlin to have a senior night and a start on a senior night. I think that was a really cool move by him. This was one of the best attended games. It had over 12,000 fans this season. The crowd was engaged, energetic, and electric. There were times second half it got real loud, especially with after some questionable calls by the officiating crew. But overall, the Broncos survived Scott Drew. BJ Rains before the game tweeted that Boise State all time with Scott Drew as one of the officials was 1-4. Now Broncos are 2-4 with him being involved, and don't think they want him involved much more going forward as an official. But anyway, there were times where the Bronco Nation was really deafening. In terms of some offensive notes, San Diego State's field goal was a three-pointer with 8 seconds left in the game by Dixon Waters to make it 77-86. San Diego State's largest run was 12-0. Aztecs never took the lead or had a lead. They willed and lead down to about in the first half to 5 points or so, but the Broncos were able to hold them to about that or more. After they got within 5, Broncos kept them at arm's length. When there's a Bronco offense, Drew Fielder had the last field goal, a layup with a minute 55 left to make it 70-81. Broncos RGC came with 12:32 left in the game with 21 points, 58-37. The Broncos Sarge's run was 14-0. So now for the visitor stats, Magoon Guath had 4 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 1 board, 15 minutes. He had 2 fouls, one of which was a technical. What happened on a play in the second half as it was going out of bounds. Or a little soon after the play, he actually shoved Boise State's Drew Fielder into the Bronco bench. So he got the tee because of that. And then Drew Fielder had some words about it, and he got teed up as well, so it was a double tech. I believe that's what the official word, at least from the officiating crew, I believe. I'm not totally certain if Drew Fielder really warranted a technical foul. Because in the second half as well, Andrew Meadow was called for flagrant, but even the commentators, as it turns out, on some tweets about it after the game, were saying that the flagrant that was called on Andrew Meadow should not have been a flagrant one. It was more of a normal basketball play. So the officiating in this game was a little weird, inconsistent. The Broncos showed much better poise, especially late in the season against some lower tier officiating and not allowing them to take over games like they did toward the start of conference play. In the first 2 weeks, sometimes that really took the Broncos out of the game a bit. But again, they stayed the course and picked up a big win against a really solid opponent, San Diego State. Even if it is a down year, Aztecs are always a force to be reckoned with. Number 3, Harrington had 9 points, 4-7 of shooting overall, 1 of 4 from range, had 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, a steal in 24 minutes. Miles Bird had 7 points of 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from range, and hit both free throws. A note about him is that he struggles with dunking the ball, and he had troubles with that in the first half. And when I got the game in the second half, whenever he had the ball, I would join in 6-12 chance Bird can't dunk. And he definitely can't. That is a real struggle area for Miles Bird. I mean, he is a great athlete, but he struggles with dunking. So I definitely say Bronco Nation got in his head a little bit. He also had 2 boards, 4 assists, 3 fouls, a steal in 23 minutes. Reese Dixon Waters led the single state scoring effort, 23 points and 8 of 14 shooting overall, 4 of 8 from range. Hit all 3 free throws, 2 boards, 4 fouls, 1 turnover, 30 minutes. Miles Heidi had 8 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from the stripe, 1 board, 3 fouls, 1 turnover, 19 minutes. Naaman Jr. had 2 points, 1 of 3 overall, with the foul in 16 minutes. Pro Compton had 2 points, 1 of 2 overall, 0 for 1 from range. 1 board, 1 foul, 1 turnover in 6 minutes. Tay Simmons, he fell down 22 minutes, finished with 12 points on 3 of 5 shooting, 6 of 7 from the charity stripe, 1 offense, 3 total boards. BJ Davis, 6 points, 2 of 5 overall shooting, hit both free throw attempts, 1 board, 1 assist, 4 fouls, 1 turnover in 18 minutes. Taj DeGorville, 4 points, 1 of 5 overall, 0 for 1 from range, and 2 of 3 from the stripe. 1 assist, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 1 steal in 19 minutes. And Jeremiah Oden, 0 for 1 with an assist and a foul in 6 minutes. So a really solid win for the Broncos. Holding such a great team to only 15 total boards, 2 offensive. Normally, Single State is, like Boise State, an elite rebounding team. And yet, for some reason, that night, which worked in the Broncos' advantage, they struggled to get boards. In terms of shooting overall as a team, 27-55 for 49%, 6 of 16 from range for 38%, and 17 of 20 from the stripe for 85%. 10 assists, 25 fouls, 7 turnovers, 3 steals. He had 26 bench points, 30 paint points, 13 points off turnovers, Broncos turnovers 17 times. 3 6 chance points, 8 fast break points, or 5 of 8 on layups in the close, and 5 of 6 on dunks. Again, Miles Bird, the one who missed his dunk. In the 67 possessions, 35 scores. They averaged 1.15 points per possession. Scored on 52% of their possessions, turnover 10%. 12 for 30, 58, and retired for 56 seconds in the game. In the first half, Guad was over 2 with a board. Harrington didn't take the shot, had 2 boards, an assist, 2 turnovers. Bird had 3 points, 1 of 4 overall, 1 of 2 from range. 1 board, 2 assists, 1 foul, 1 steal. Dixon Waters had 8 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 3 from range with the foul. Heidi had 4 points, hit both field goal attempts, 1 board, 1 turnover. Naaman Jr., 1 foul in 10 minutes. Pharaoh Compton, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, 0 for 1 from range with the turnover. Simmons had 4 points, hit his own field goal attempt and made both free throw attempts, had a board. Davis had 4 points, 2 of 4 from the floor with a board, 2 fouls, and a turnover. DeGorville, 1 of 4 from the floor, 0 for 1 from range for 2 points with an assist, foul, and a steal. And Oden was 0 for 1 with an assist, foul in 6 minutes. Overall, 27 points at half. 9-25 from the floor for 44%, 3-7 from range for 43%, hit both free throw attempts, 7 boards, 5 assists, 7 fouls, 5 turnovers, 2 steals. 12 bench points, 14 paint points, 4 points off turnovers, 6 fast break points in the first half, 30 possessions, 12 scores, 29 points per possession, scored 40% of the time, and turnovers 17% of the time. In the second half for Single State, Guad 4 points, hit both field goals. Both his fouls, technical, came in the second half. Harrington, 9 points, 4-7 overall, 1 of 4 from range, 1 board, 2 assists, 1 steal. Bird had 4 points, made his own field goal, and made both free throw attempts, 1 board, 2 assists, 2 fouls. Dixon Waters did his damage in the second half, scoring 15 points, 5 of 9 overall, 2 of 5 from range, hit all 3 free throws. 2 boards, 3 fouls, 1 turnover. Heidi, 4 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the stripe with 3 fouls. Naaman Jr., 2 points, 1 of 3 from the floor. Compton had a board and a foul. Tay Simmons come in off 5 fouls in 14 minutes in the second half. Also had 8 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 4 of 5 from the stripe, 1 offensive, 2 total boards. Davis, 2 points, 0 for 1 from the floor, hit both free throw attempts with an assist and 2 fouls. DeGorville had 2 points, was 0 for 1 from the floor, 2 3 from the stripe with the turnover. Overall, the Aztecs with 50 points in the second half, 16 of 30 for 53% overall, 3 9 from range, and 15 of 18 from the stripe for 83%. 2 offensive, 8 total boards, 5 assists, 18 fouls, 2 turnovers, and a steal. 14 bench points, 16 paint points, 9 points off turnovers, 3 6 chance points, 2 fast break points. 36 possessions, 24 scores, 1.39 points per possession. Scored 67% of the time, turned over about 6% of the time in the second half. Now for the victorious Broncos. So Andrews had 13 points, was 3 of 5 overall, 1 of 3 from range, and 6 of 9 from the stripe. Had a board and assist, 5 turnovers in 34 minutes. A lot of those were some issues he had with getting the ball up the court, facing San Diego State's full man zone pressure. He really struggled getting the ball at times across the half-court line. Reggie Keene did foul out in this game, but he had 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting, 1 of 2 from range, 4 offensive, 8 boards, 5 assists, 1 turnover block at 30 minutes. Don Perlin, as mentioned, got the start with the Drew Fielder relinquishing his start so Dom could start on senior night. He finished off on 1 with on offensive 5 total boards, 2 assists, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal in 14 minutes. And the middle had a solid game with 12 points on 4 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from range, and 1 of 2 from the stripe. 3 offensive, 5 total boards, 1 assist, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers, 30 minutes. Jamin Buchanan had 17 points on 6 of 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from range, and 3 of 4 from the stripe. 1 offensive, 4 total boards, 1 foul, 1 turnover, 31 minutes. And 3 of 5 starters got 12 plus points, so our starters combined for 42 of our 86 points, which is pretty nice. Then off the bench, AJ Neto had 3 points, made his own 3-pointer and missed not 3-pointer. So 1 of 2 overall, 1 of 1 from range, 1 board, 1 foul, 2 turnovers, 18 minutes. Von Boehm had a turnover in 1 minute. Pina Carmichael had 3 points, was 1 of 3 from range. Played 7 minutes, 2 boards, again mainly in the first half. Don't recall him playing much in the second half. Spencer Aarons, again a bit of a funk. Shooting wise, was 0 for 2 from range with 2 fouls and turnover 8 minutes. Drew Fielder, in his first game, I believe, the season, coming off the bench, had a career night. He scored 33 points, which I believe is the most points ever scored in program history by someone coming off the bench. 7 of 10 is shooting overall, 3 of 4 from range, and 16 of 18 from the stripe. 2 offensive, team high 9 boards, 2 fouls, 1 of which was a technical, which I addressed when we talked about McGuin's technical, with 1 turnover in 26 minutes. Overall, the 86 points on 24-46 shooting for 52%, 12 of 25 from range for 48%, and 26 of 33 for 79% from the stripe. Broncos with 12 offensive, 37 total boards, and 9 assists, 16 fouls, 17 turnovers, 1 block and a steal, 39 bench points, 20 paint points, 11 points off turnovers, 21 second chance points. Again, San Diego State normally is someone that you don't really out-rebound by the margin we did, 37 to 15. In total rebounds or offense rebounds, 12-2, and they're definitely a team that don't really get that many second chance points, 21 of them against, in general. You don't really do that, but that night we did. In terms of layups, Broncos were 5 of 11. 64 possessions, 37 scores. They averaged 1.34 points per possession. Scored about 58% of the time. Turned it over 27% of the time. In the first half, Dinlan only had 1 point. Was 0 for 2 from range, 1 of 2 from the stripe. 1 board, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. RJ with 3 points, 1 of 2 from range, with 2 offensive, 5 total boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Again, Dom got the start, and as I mentioned, his stats and the game stats, he only played those 8 minutes in the first half, and that was it for his night. Aaron Meadow had 5 points, a 2-3 shooting, made his lone 3-point attempt, had 1 offensive, 2 total boards, 1 assist, 2 fouls, 1 turnover. Jamin Buchanan, had 7 points, 3 of 6 overall, 1 of 3 from range, 1 offensive, 2 total boards. One thing that was cool for Jamin was that his parents flew all the way out from Lafayette, Indiana to be at his senior night game, which was really dang cool. And I think that was probably the first, maybe second time ever they got to see. Well, I think this was their first time being at Boise State to see him play. And again, it was a really good game for them to have done so. Then A.J. Neto, off the bench, made his lone 3-point attempt for 3 points with a turnover. Von Bowman played a minute, turned over, and after that it was done. Peter Carmichael, as I mentioned, only played 7 minutes in the whole game, and it was all in the first half. Just to try to test him out, see how he was feeling with his leg and calf. That something happened to it the previous home game before this one. Then Spencer Ahrens was 0 for 2 with 2 fouls, turnover, and only 8 minutes played. So, yeah, he didn't play much at all in the game. Yeah, so I don't think he shows up in the second half like Peanut. Then Drew, 12 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from range, and hit all 4 free throws. Had 4 boards in the first half. Overall, 34 points in the first half for the Broncos on 11-24 shooting for 46%. 7 of 17 from range for 41%, and 5 of 6 from the stripe. 5 offensive, 18 total boards, 5 assists, 4 fouls, 8 turnovers, and a steal. 18 bench points, 8 paint points, 7 points off turnovers, 8 second chance points. 20 possessions, 14 scores, 1.21 points per possession. Scored 50% of the time, turned it over 29% of the time. In the second half, Dylan had 12 points, hit all field goals, 3 field goals, and 1 3-point field goal. Hit all those. 5 of 7 from the charity stripe, 3 turnovers. RJ fell down the second half, 2 points, made his own field goal, 2 offensive, 3 total boards, 3 assists, 1 block shot. Don Perlin in the second half saw 6 minutes. He had 4 boards, 1 assist, 2 fouls. Andrew played all 20, had 7 points, 2 of 6 overall, 2 of 4 from range, and 1 of 2 from the stripe. 2 offensive, 3 total boards, 1 foul, 1 turnover. Jaden with 10 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from range, 3 of 4 from the stripe with 2 boards, 1 foul, 1 turnover. AJ Neto was 0 for 1 from the floor with a board, foul, and a turnover. The true fielder had 21 points on 4 of 6 shooting, including 1 made 3-pointer, which was his only attempt from range in the second half, and 12 of 14 from the stripe. 2 offensive, 5 total boards, 2 fouls, again 1 of which was a tee, 1 turnover, 20 bench points, 12 paint points, 4 points off turnovers, 13 second chance points in the second half, 34 possessions, 24 scores, 1.53 points per possession. Extremely efficient offense. Scored 71% of the time and turned over about 27% of the time. Overall, 52 points second half for the Broncos, 13-22 from the floor for 59%, 5 of 8 from range for 63%, and 21-27 for 78% from the stripe. 7 offensive, 19 total boards, 4 assists, 12 fouls, 9 turnovers, and 1 block shot. The win moved the Broncos to 19-11 overall, 11-8 in conference play, and the loss for the Aztecs dropped 19-10 overall, 13-6 in conference play. San Diego State just won on March 6th at home against UNLV and went to 20-10, 14-6 in conference play. I mean that Boise State cannot finish any lower than the 6th. If the Broncos win tonight, I'll talk more about it against Colorado State, but they win, they may be 5 or 6, but lose, they'll go to 8. So 7th seed is now out of the question. In the first half, the Broncos win in halftime with 34-27 lead. And again, the second half, the Broncos outscored the Aztecs by 2, 52-50. This was the Broncos' fourth consecutive win. With the win, the Broncos are now 15-2 all time against the Aztecs, 9-5 at home. Broncos finished the year in terms of home slate with 12 wins at Extra Mile Arena. Broncos have won double-digit home games from each of the last 7 years, scoring 80 points for the 14th time this season. Broncos are 81-8, or 91% scoring 80 plus. With assistant coach Tim Derrier on staff, the Broncos are 19-1, win lead in the halftime of the season. Again, Drew Fielder, career high 33 points, first career 30-point game, and also his 16 made free throws was a career high for him. And the 16 made free throws was second most makes in single game program history. I think Dirk Marks at one point at like 21 in like 2015 or something like that against the Vandals. So again, real great showing for the Bronco men. And as some said the post-game interviews, I believe, that they believe that if they're on point on offense, defense, they can play and beat anyone in the conference. And they proved that against San Diego State. Generally, a really good basketball program. Up next for the Broncos, they'll play at 2 p.m. Mountain Time at Colorado State on March 7th. The game will be televised on the Midwest Network and on 93.1 FM KBOI, because again at 2:30 p.m. Mountain or 3:30 p.m. or it's at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time, the women will be playing against San Jose State. So right now, Boise State moved up to 58th in KenPom, which is really nice. KenPom still predicts this as a 2-point road loss for the Broncos at the Rams. Colorado State is 83rd in KenPom. Again, this is a matchup against two teams that are really hitting their stride. Colorado State has won 8 in a row. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They lost. And on January 28th, they lost to San Diego State. Sent through 50. Lost in Wyoming, 68-57. Then they took care of business against San Jose State, Air Force, and Wyoming home. Well, San Jose State and Wyoming home. Won at the Air Force. And then they won at UNLV, with something Boise State was them do. Beat the Aztecs at home, beat Fresno at home, beat San Jose away, and beat New Mexico away. So, Colorado State has shown that they can beat anyone too. And they're playing just as high caliber elite ball that the Broncos are right now. Right now, their 8-game win streak is the nation's 6th longest active win streak. And looking at Boise State's last 10. Boise State is 7-3. Again, on 27th, the Broncos won at San Jose. They lost at Grand Canyon. Then they beat Nevada at home. Won at New Mexico on the road. Then lost in overtime to UNLV at home. Got trounced at Utah State. Then have since gone on a run. 4-game win streak against San Jose, Wyoming at home, Fresno away, and they just beat San Diego State at home. So again, a battle of two of the hottest teams, especially in Mountain West Conference play right now. And yes, it is Colorado State senior night. So again, it is to be seen. I mean, not really gonna preview stats or anything like that in this one, like I normally would. I mean, I do believe Boise State. I mean, this is going to be a fun game and a great game between two really solid programs that are playing elite basketball right now. So I think that Boise State can win this game again. They just got to keep playing like they have the past four, especially against like they did Tuesday. Got to find a way to out-rebound, especially get extra possessions with grabbing double-digit goal boards. If they can do that and translate them to points, that'll significantly increase their odds of winning. Again, if they can shoot like 45+% of them, like 40+%, maybe 38+% from range, and make about 80% of the free throws, I think they can win this game and play more team-oriented basketball with lots of assists on shots. I think that will be a recipe to win. And as all that says, you take care of the ball takes care of you. Can't really be affording to be too careless on the road with the basketball. And when we're on defense, got to find ways to affect their shots, make them miss shots, and force them into turnovers. And really got to limit their three-point shooting too. So I think this is going to be a close win for the Broncos. I'd say within 6 points. Again, let's not forget that at home it was a pretty close game for a majority of this game when they hosted Colorado State. The Broncos only won by 6, so I think maybe 4, maybe 5-point win on the road for the Broncos. I think they could do that, and again, they have to see what else happens in conference play with the other teams. I mean, as I mentioned, San Diego State, or I think I mentioned San Diego State beat UNLV at home, which is a positive result if you're the Broncos. Because Broncos take care of business in Colorado State, they could get the 5th seed or most likely the 6th. 7th seed is out of the question. If they lose to Colorado State, they drop down to 8th. Personally, I prefer to get the 6th seed because that's on the other side of the bracket of Utah State and Grand Canyon, two teams that we did not match up well with or compete well against at all in the regular conference season. 0-2 against both of them, and they were both double-digit losses each game we played against them, so want to avoid playing them until like the championship game. But the trade-off in that is that since we're on the other side of the bracket, all of our games will be late games. But we do get much more favorable games too, because we've been in San Diego State, so we definitely can't beat San Diego State. We know we can beat UNLV, it's just they got a little lucky, or we just couldn't execute fully how we needed to in our 2 games against them. But I think a third crack in it might be the one that breaks the camel's back and ends UNLV's season in the conference tournament. We know it could be like Air Force or Fresno or Wyoming or San Jose. And again, on our side, it's mainly most likely going to be like San Jose and Wyoming on our side of the bracket we play against. So, yeah, I definitely believe that getting the 6th seed, if you're Boise State, is most preferable for you making a deep run in this conference tournament, maybe making all the way to the title game. Because win at Colorado State will be 20th win of the season and be a solid addition to the Liam Rice era of another 20-win season, and I think it's got like 6 of those, or maybe 7, and this might be number 8. So again, a big road test for the Broncos right before the conference tournament, especially since it is Colorado State senior night. So a big game with Colorado State coming up on March 7th again on the Mountain West Network and 93.1 KBOI FM for the audio, for the radio feed. So here's to a Bronco win for men's basketball on the road at Colorado State and going into Vegas for the conference men on a 5-game win streak. Another 20-win season and maybe a 5 seed, maybe a 6 seed. Again, all depends upon how the other teams ahead of us do in terms of the seeding. But honestly, again, as I mentioned, I much prefer the 6 seed. Avoid playing Grand Canyon and or Utah State until the championship. I mean, sure, the other side that is, if we are on that side, we get an early crack at them. And anything can happen in conference tournaments. So, I mean, we could play Utah State or Grand Canyon in the quarterfinals. We beat them, then we play Utah State in the semis. If we somehow find a way to beat them in the semis, and then arguably the title game would be an easier matchup for us against a team like New Mexico or San Diego State, versus a tougher matchup against teams that, in terms of how they play in the regular season and conference play, completely outclassed and overmatched us or outmatched us in Utah State and Grand Canyon. Again, when it comes to conference tournament time, anything can happen. So with that said, go Broncos.